So without further ado, Zandile, I'm going to hand over to you guys if you want to chat to me after this.
Um, okay, I hope I'm not that too loud as I can hear myself. My name is Zandile, as they've said. I'm a cloud endpoint technical specialist at Microsoft. The name sounds fancy, but what I do is I'm responsible for securing your endpoints, and Windows 365 is part of the endpoints I am responsible for at Microsoft. I'm not sure how many are familiar with Windows 365 or have had a little bit of it or had an experience of doing some demo with it or even trial it out at the time it came out. Do you have any? Okay. Because I know a lot of people, they exhausted our trial licenses that are available, including students. So a lot of people trialed it out when it was launched last year. So Windows 365 is more of a Windows that was created for hybrid. It was a Windows, a PC or a product that was created when we had COVID. So it was created for hybrid work at heart, or work from home, as we normally call it, work away from your office, the way you would like to actually pronounce it or put it the way you would like it. But I'm going to be talking about Windows 365. I'm not going to go too much technical. I'm trying to be in the middle so that we can actually understand it, all of us. Those who are technical and those who are not technical, we can actually go home with something. And I like an interactive kind of session. So if you have a question, don't hold it until the end. You can just raise your hands and we'll deal with the questions as we go. Okay, they give me this. Let's hope it works according to where I think it will. Okay. Okay, sorry. I don't know what's happening there.
It's working.
Okay. Okay, it's lower than it is. This is the statement from our CEO, Satya, that Windows 365, we created a complete new category, the cloud PC, which brings system to the cloud for the first time. You can stream the full Windows experience to any device. You can think of it as a Windows computer with Azure computing. So I'm sure most of us, we are familiar with Azure, Azure computing, or our VDI solution that is on Azure. Windows 365 was actually created on Azure, on the base of that Azure computing that we are familiar with, or we have already tried it or deployed it to our users or our customers, as I think we have partners here that are actually deploying. So Windows 365 was created on top of those bases, but made more simpler, made more easier to manage. You don't need any VDI experience to actually manage Windows 365. So when we created it, we wanted something that could be more easily plug and play. The normal way that you actually get your laptop to your users, we wanted you to get such simpler way of managing it, and you can actually use it anyway. You can have it on your Android, you can have it on Mac. You know, those people that wanted to have Mac, now we are bringing Windows on your Mac. You can have it on your tablets. You can have it on your phone, a device that you have. So it doesn't actually restrict you to always have a PC. Those people that want to travel easier or lighter, Windows 365 is for you. Those people that want to travel and leave the PC in South Africa and maybe go to Dubai and get a PC there and continue working, Windows 365 is for you. So it's not restricting you on any device. So it's more like your Windows in your pocket, kind of. That's what we created. So as we know how hybrid work or how the world has changed with the COVID that happened, we are not actually at where we started before COVID started. So now, I'm sure most of your organization, even now, you are working hybrid. You're not totally in the office seeing each other every day. There are some of our colleagues, I know how to work with them through Teams. I haven't seen them. And when I see them, like, okay, oh, you are that one, you know. But because the hybrid world that we have in, it's changing. We have 57 of remote workers that are considered hybrid work, and 52% of workers are considered going hybrid or remote in a year ahead. So some are trialing it out that is going to the office more productive or continue working from home or working hybrid. We work hybrid at Microsoft. I'm at work some days I'm not at work, but the work continues as the same. So organizations everywhere have a growing need to support hybrid work and policies. So how do we work? How do we actually bring this hybrid work into place? How do we secure our information? How do we make sure that if we have contractors, if we have temp workers, if we have interns, we are not investing a lot into hardware? Windows 365 comes and say, you know what, we can assist you. How do we get remote workers that are not actually in South Africa to start working instantly without having maybe to work or wait for a certain period of time for a devicer to be delivered, for a devicer to be configured, for you to have all the apps that you need to continue working without actually wasting your company information. We said Windows 365 is there. You're up and running within 30 minutes to an hour, depending on the scenario that you pick. We'll go forward and I'll actually show you the scenarios that are there. So I'll be talking about mostly hybrid, because that's what it was created for. So onboarding and provisioning, it has zero touch. We are actually trying to do zero touch with autopilot. For those who are familiar with it, we are trying to actually get our IT to do zero touch. We're trying to get our IT to have enough time to do things that are more important to them rather than to be configuring a PC, having a laptop or having 3 laptops in front of you, trying to get all the apps that the user need, trying to get everything on your machine ready. So we are trying to get to the zero touch scenario. So Windows 365 also has the zero touch approach to getting employees or vendors or contractors up and running across a variety of devices and locations. Most of the customers that I've been working with recently, they have developers that are not actually based in South Africa, most of them. And those developers, they need machines. So they hire a developer. Some of them, they take closely a month for the developer to get a devicer because it has to be shipped from here and then going to where the developer is, whether it's India, whether they're based in Germany, wherever they are based in. But we have most of the developers in our customers' environment that are not actually based in South Africa. So with that being said, a developer get hired, and then immediately when they get hired, they're a PC to work. They just bring their own devices. We have policies that you have been applying all over again on endpoint that we apply on the same cloud PC. So the security part of it was built in it. Even the window operating system that runs on it, it was built on the security principle. And business continuity, we had one customer, if I remember, that they had their on-premise environment hacked and it was locked down and they couldn't work. But with Windows 365, they had, I think, 20 licenses. They were up and running within an hour with their PC and their Outlook and everything up and running while the business is trying to actually rescue their on-premise environment, and then they were up and running with Cloud PC. That's what we say business continuity. Windows 365 provides such. And security, as always. So security no longer actually talk about it because security, it's our base, because now we know that the hackers, those that want to get into your environment, they are getting wiser than before. I don't know if we have any question yet. Okay. So I hope I'm not speaking a language that we're not understanding. I just hope that whatever I'm saying is more clear than we understand it. So today's computing, we have a client that is a PC. We have the visualization that was there previously, and we have a desktop as a service that we know that Azure Visual Desktop was part of that. And now Windows 365 is more like bringing this environment into your hands as easy as it has ever been in life. So you have your cloud PC that is visualized, that is software as a service now. It's not desktop as a service. It's a software as a service, Windows 365. So to unlock new scenario for your customers, we have announced a new category of hybrid. As I said, a personalized computing that delivers Windows 10 and Windows 11. I think I need to always do this because it always goes off. Okay. To unlock our customers, we have a hybrid computing that is personalized computing that delivers Windows 10 and Windows 11 from the Microsoft Cloud PC with the Cloud PC. So we have, when we go on the management part, as I said, we manage it using your endpoint manager. So it's more of choosing Windows 10 or Windows 11, depending on what your environment has. We have gallery images. You can also do your own custom image. I'll go through that, showing you how my environment look on a later stage. But it comes with Windows 10 or Windows 11. We don't have Windows 8 or Windows 7, as we know that those Windows 7 is out already. So it actually was brought in with Windows 10 and Windows 11. So it was brought in the hybrid kind of life, as we know that Windows 11 was also created with the hybrid work at heart, as we announced it. And Windows has been there, the heart of Microsoft for decades, as we know, and the fundamentals and the most innovative platform for work, learning, and creativity. So we are bringing your Windows into your pocket, your Windows into the device that you want to use. You are no longer, sorry?
Sorry, I've got a question.
Yes.
Do I have to always be like one setup? Do I always have to be on the internet? Like, do I have to have access to the internet to access the PC?
For now, yes. But in the roadmap, we do have the offline offering that is coming. It's not yet GA, but it's still in the roadmap, and soon it will be announced. But you just need to be connected to the internet. It's actually dependent on the internet. But on the roadmap, we are actually creating an offline scenario where you can work offline, but when you come online, it syncs, so that on all your devices, you can have the same actually outlook. Because with Windows 365, when you are working right now, I think I had my Windows 365 opened an Excel for like a month. Every time when I log on it, I found that Excel on. So wherever you leave, the state you leave your device on, it remains like that. So when you are working offline, that simply means your information won't sync to all your devices. But that state is coming, you will work, and then once you connect online, it will sync the state your device is in, and then across all the devices that you will try to access it, you'll find everything that is there. I'm not sure if I answered you. Do you have another question, or I can continue? Okay, cool. I think we'll take them, maybe yours at the end. But those that are coming as I speak, you can actually raise them. So Microsoft is uniquely positioned to bring together the PC and the cloud with consistency and integrated Windows experience, and Windows 365 does just that. So we are more of introducing your cloud and your PC, which is quite a new concept that obviously some will take time to actually grasp it on how it works. So your Windows experience is integrated with the cloud now. It's no longer, if you need a Windows, you need to have a PC specifically, or you need a hardware specifically to have your Windows running. Now we are bringing your Windows on the cloud. And just as we bought Windows Office to cloud, I remember when we started Windows Office 365, a lot of people didn't understand it, but now I think it's the new norm that we are used to it. The traditional kind of Office is more of things of the past, as much as there are still some customers that are still on having that. But Office on cloud, we are used to it, like Office 365, M365, E3 or E5. That's what we are currently using or get used to as customers. As we brought that in, now we're bringing your Windows to your cloud. Windows now evolved from being a device-based OS to being a hybrid solution that we can utilize. As I said, that Windows 365 supports your hybrid work needs. Windows 365 provides a personalized, powerful, simple, secured full Windows 10 and Windows 11. So normally a question that we actually have is, can I use Windows 365 as like a pooled instance that people are used to on our on-premise VDI solution? No. Windows 365 is a personalized experience. One license, one person. You don't have to say, are my profiles moving with me? Everything is the same as you are using your device. The same way that your laptop performs or your laptop works, that's how Windows 365 works. So it's personalized, It's simple, it's powerful, and it's secured at its best. So there is no secure policy that you will want us to apply to your device that you cannot apply to your Windows 365. All the policies that you have currently, we can apply them. If you want to apply your GPOs that are on your on-premise, we can do that because we have different network scenarios that we work with Windows 365. So now, welcome to your Cloud PC, a new solution for today's hybrid. Your content goes with you wherever you go. Your compute option, we have different for different users, as we have said. We have the same way that you can choose that you are buying a machine that is 4 gig, that is 6 gig, or that is 8 gig, or that is 32 gig, whatever gig that you need on your RAM. We have the same option depending on users. You classify your users, you profile your users, and you understand. And our 4 gig and the normal PC 4 gig doesn't work the same. Our 4 gig is more powerful, it's more like a virtualized system speed. And the way we have seen with our customers doing the POCs, understanding what Windows 365 is and testing it, they've seen it being more powerful, more respondent compared to most of the software as a service PCs that are currently there out in the market. So your apps, they continue with you. Your Office, you get them there. When we deploy it, when you set it up, you can be able to see how to choose whether you want it to have Microsoft apps or you want it to be optimized. It depends on what you need. And your storage is also scalable. You can actually upsize. I can give you a machine today that is 4 gig, and later on we see that you require a higher SKU. We can actually resize you to a higher SKU depending if you have actually purchased those licenses on your cloud subscription. I don't want to end up talking alone and people sleeping. So if you have any questions, you can do ask. Yes.
So I'm thinking about the internet speed. So let's say, the client does not have like a fast internet, right?
Okay.
So does that affect the experience? What have you had those challenges with clients?
No. We haven't had such. So your internet, if it can be able to allow you to browse any app, it can allow you to get to Windows 365. So once you are on Windows 365, our backbone network now supports you. So the speed that you test on your machine and the speed that you test on the cloud PC, they become different. Because now the only thing that you need is to connect to the cloud PC. Once you are there, you are on our backbone, our Microsoft backbone support, and then your speed becomes different. So it's no longer like I'm accessing the speed of the network that is here. It's different kind of network for you.
And what about the security, the on-premise security? Does it matter as much as it does with the device Office? I mean the device Windows, the one that I'm using now. Obviously, like the security that I have to think about. So do I have to think about the same security with Cloud PC?
Cloud PC is secured on its own from the base, the creation of it, and your device doesn't affect Windows 365. So as
Ignore the firewalls and stuff like that.
you can still apply the firewalls depending on the network that you are choosing. If you are choosing, because I'll show you when we go forward, there is an Azure AD Connect joint machine or Azure joint machine and your network-based joint. So if you are taking care of the network in that kind of network layer and it's not a Microsoft joint or Azure joint, that simply means you need to take care of your network, your Azure network, your VNets. The way you secure your VNets, currently you need to secure them like that. But if Microsoft is taking care of everything, as like when we do the Azure joint machine, that simply means we secure everything, so you don't need to worry about that part. Yes. So it depends on the scenario that you'll use or the the network architecture you choose to use in your environment, that we actually give you responsibility to a certain level. There's somewhere where you don't have responsibility at all because we are taking care of everything as Microsoft. But when you want to make those machines to be domain joint, the same way that you secure your domain joint machine, you need to think about the same network layer that you apply on those machines. So Windows 365 you can leverage your existing infrastructure. As I said, we are not saying Windows 365 move from the infrastructure that you have. Windows 365 works seamlessly with Azure AD, Microsoft Defender, Microsoft 365 application, and Microsoft Endpoint. So there are a lot of customers that are still using their SCCM currently that will want to integrate with it. We actually leverage that. We're not saying Windows 365 and you need to get new things that you need to manage it with, but the same Defender for Endpoint that you have currently works on Windows 365. Your same Microsoft 365 applications are the same ones that you license your user to use on your Windows 365. So you don't actually need to buy the entire package. You actually get it. Whatever you have, we integrate it with you, and then you work with it like that. And as I said, it requires no special skills. So those who say, no, we need to go to training, deep training now, you can actually have it up and running within few seconds and understanding it. It requires no special skills or no previous experience from your visualization. It allows your IT to use the same tools they used previously to continue using them. So you have the IT won't actually have to go training, upskill and everything. The same tool they were using, they continue using them. So Windows 365 is great for your organization end to end, from your end user to the business to the IT. So it's not actually something that will be loved by your IT or only by your user. So the entire management or the entire user line will actually like it because it's good for them, it's good for IT. You no longer have to manage a lot of things, more work to more important tasks than to having people calling you, my PC this, my PC that, can I bring it in, can you format it and everything. Everything is just on your Microsoft endpoint, so you have time dedicated to formatting or re-imaging machines dedicated to something else. So use cases that we normally find in our customer environment are different. So mostly what we have seen is that you find that in an environment we'll have more than one use case that actually suit the customer, which these are few of those use cases that we have discovered. There are more, they're not limited to this. This is what we just want to talk about. Data security. We have had, I think, most of the customers that says that contractors that were supposed to work in the environment, they couldn't buy them PCs, but they needed to work on their information or the customer's information. They needed to work on the PCs that they brought, like bring your own devices. So how do you secure data that belongs to a company on somebody's machine? And then contractors mostly refuse to actually enroll their machines on your environment. So we actually came up with Windows 365 to solve that issue. So your company IP is protected. You give your contractors a machine. Once they are done working, you revoke the machine from them. Nothing is left on the bring your own devices. Also, high capacity computing. We've seen somewhere where some instances that I think most of us we have seen that somebody will have two PCs because they need to do something or design something that require high capacity, and then they need a machine that is small enough or portable enough for them to move around with it. So high capacity, you have your portable machine that you like moving with it, and it will give you a high capacity Windows 365. So you have one device to do both of them. No need to carry two devices or have a bigger laptop that you use for maybe your modeling or your design or your development. And then have your small PC for doing day-to-day work. You have one PC, you do everything in it. We give you Windows 365, and you work on that. Bring your own device. I think this is most of the scenarios that you mostly see in the environment, where you have contractors, where you have interns, where you have temporary workers. Even other organization actually allows a customer or a user to go and buy their own machines and then work on the company's intellectual property. So bring your own devices. That's one of the use cases that we actually find Windows 365 featuring a lot. And disaster recovery, I think I've said this example of a customer that had their own environment locked, their on-premise environment locked. They recovered or fell back on Windows 365, and they continued working. Temporary workers, it also falls on bring your own devices. We actually get this worked. Or you are actually an accusation or merging companies, Windows 365 actually can support you on that use cases. I've said we have different kind of SKUs or different sizes of machines. This takes time. I think I mostly talk and then people see something at the after. But we have our 2 CPU, our 4 CPU, and 8 CPU. Our developers, mostly we put them on the 8 CPU, 32 gig, because that's where they require visualization or nested visualization, the way they need to run their Dockers and everything. So more developers, more high-end kind of spec is our 8 CPU, 32 gig. We've even had somebody needing more than that. So 8 gig, 32 gig, 8 CPU or 32 gig, that's where the developers are. Most people, they work on 2 CPU. Our day-to-day office workers, the 2 CPU one works perfectly for them. And if you think like your work is more heavier, we can upgrade you to the 4 CPU. And then the provisioning windows that comes in, it comes in Windows 11 and Windows 10. That's what it comes in. And on users, I said desk platforms, you can use it on Windows, on Mac, on iOS, on Android. So it's not actually limited to saying you need to have a Windows device. So we moved away from that. And then desktop, laptop, tablet, phones, you can use it on. So your Windows is on your pocket currently. Before I go to provisioning options, do you have any questions? Okay.
Well, I've got a question.
Okay.
You're specifying there obviously the high computing power computers. You're specifying the memory and the processor. For guys doing graphics, is there options for graphics also on that, or is it only really processor and memory?
I think the processor and memories, graphics, they're nearly the same. So it won't actually affect anything.
It won't affect it. So if you require basically using an application specified, we require a high-end graphics card to be able to do renders, this will still be able to do it.
Yeah. So mostly on the 8 gig ones, we normally speak about people that want nested visualization, because the other SKUs, they don't support that. But the 8 gig, the 8 CPU, 32 gig, they support that visualization part. Okay. But graphics, they all remain the same. Yeah. So I have came up with 3. With the 4th one that we normally use it when the customer needs it, but 3 are the most common Windows 365 cloud PC provisioning policies that we normally have in the environment. The first one, which is simple, fast to actually have, is the Azure AD joint Windows 365 hosted network, which the Microsoft hosts your network. So here, mostly, when I want to show you, I like everything to be in the screen first. Okay, fine. The black layer shows what the customer manage or managed by the customer. The orange lines shows you what is managed by Microsoft, and then the green part is the network flow, the way it flows. So with the first one, as I said, this is entirely managed by Microsoft. So you don't manage anything as a customer. So what you have to do is just to procure your licenses, assign them to the users, create the provisioning policies that you create, and then everything is managed by Microsoft. You don't need to secure your network layer and everything. Everything Microsoft manage. So this is the first layer where your machines are not domain joined. If you need anything that is in your domain, this is not the scenario for you. And then this mostly, we use it for our office workers that only requires access to SharePoint, access to OneDrive, access to Teams, and access to your Outlook, and then they can work. This is the scenarios that can work for them. And then you can actually have VPN client. That's why I said we have 4 that is embedded in one. So on this one, you can actually have your VPN client that is on-premise on those machines, which you need to open certain ports for that to work. They can use that to access your on-premise line of sight application if that is required or that is allowed on your network layer. The second one, we call it, is still Azure AD joint, but you bring your own network. That's where we require you to have at least one active Azure subscription so that you can be able to create your VNets. So this one, you actually manage the black one. You host your Azure subscription. That's managed by you as a customer. And the orange part, as I said, is managed by Microsoft. And your on-premise environment, whatever layer you have to put of security on your on-premise, it's managed by you. You have to secure it. It's not managed by Microsoft. So with this one, what happens is you create your visual network. That visual network will need to have line of sight to your on-premise. It's either you have your site-to-site VPN, you'll have your express route to your on-premise. So you create a VNet and then you show it to resolve, or DNS resolving, it will be resolving on your on-premise or a DC. Whether you have a DC that is Azure but has line of sight on-premise, that those kind of network can work. You have that, and then it resolves to your on-premise network. So as I said, there is a network layer that you need to secure, as I said, on the second one, which is more of what we recommend. The last one is the hardest to deploy, that requires a lot of customers' intervention, customers' work, because this is more of, we bring your own network, it's hybrid Azure AD joined. Your machine, they're actually joined to your domain. They behave the same way as your normal machines, the way they behave today. Sorry. So what happens is, here you'll need to actually end up having an OU that is on-premise, that is created to join those machines. All the GPOs that you assign currently to your online environment, you can still actually access them on your on-premise. So this is the hardest or the high-end one that you actually have on the network layer. Do you have any question on this? Okay. Your machines are actually on your AD.
Yes, the controller. So you're saying you can put the controller on your network, your local network.
Controllers as?
Or the domain controller.
Your domain controller can be on premise or it can be on Azure. I'm not sure if you know that scenario. Yes. So there are those that have a domain that is deployed on Azure, and then there are those that have domain only on premise, and then they have site-to-site VPN or express route from Azure to their on-premise. So it's more like you are making those environments to be accessible together. So these ones, your machines are actually on your AD, the same way that your machines are right now, your normal machines that are domain joined. You have an OU on your Active Directory that actually hosts your computers. So you'll have the same thing, organizational unit that will actually host your computers on premise. This just to show a little bit. I hope I'm not running out of time. Okay. This is just to show the difference between Windows 365 and Azure Visual Desktop, because we, Microsoft, own these two environments. And most customers, they normally ask what is what. We normally go into the environment and check your environment and see which one is actually fit for you. We don't actually change it to one line, or we want to Windows 365 or AVD. So our cloud PC and AVD, they both work on Windows 10, Windows 11. And the cloud PC is personalized desktop, whereas the Azure Visual Desktop can be several multi-session or personalized desktop. So it can be multi-session or it can actually be a personalized desktop. But Windows 365 is only personalized desktop. It's not actually multi-session. And when you want the remote app streaming, AVD works for you. And when you want a full control over configuration and management, that's where you go AVD. And then you require experience for AVD. And then when you want to have Citrix or VMware support, AVD works like that. And then AVD is pay as you go, pay as you use. So if you use it for 24 hours, you'll pay for 24 hours. When we come to Windows 365, it's complete end-to-end Microsoft service. As we said, is a software as a service. One-stop admin, which is Microsoft endpoint. So your admin portal is your Microsoft endpoint manager. That's where you manage the Windows 365. And also it's a direct self-service mode. We do have business edition on it, and it's predictable price per user. So it's a subscription-based. So that's the difference that we have. So if you want something that will be subscription-based, more of you have users that works 24 hours. You don't want to actually cap them, you don't want to switch their PC off, you go for Windows 365. But if you know that your users work from 8 to 5, and then 6 o'clock you can set a rule on your VDI so that they can be off, VDI is for you. But if you know that your users work 24 hours, like most do, Windows 365 is better because your price is predicted. What you buy remains like that. Whether you overuse it or you don't, the price is still the same. I'm sure most people, they are wondering why I have this here next to me. So we actually, Microsoft are a Surface house, so we do sell Surface. So we do have questions where users ask me, then I understand I bought Windows 365, but I need a device to access it. I don't want to work on my own desktop or my own tablet that I'm owning. I want a laptop. So we have a Surface Go, which is our low end, which is this that I have, our low end machine that is there, which the pricing wise can actually be on a 3-year kind of basis. When you check pricing, it can be similar to somebody buying a machine on a 30,000 rand on a 3-year basis, which you know that with Windows 365, you can always take that Windows license and give it to somebody else if that person leaves, and the machine can actually be managed by endpoint also, and then we do wipe, and then the next user use it, zero touch, as I said. So we have Surface Go, as I said, 2-in-1, and we have Surface Pro 7, which is what I have here, and then we have different kind of Surface devices that we have. I'm not here to sell Surface, I'm just showing that you can use Surface. So there is Surface that is there, Surface Go, our low-end device that we made to work perfectly with our cloud PC. And then for those who want to bring the best of Microsoft Live on your smallest and slightest device, like something that can slide in your handbag, Surface Go works perfectly, and it's not heavy, it's light. And reason why Surface is because we know that as we are creator of it, we actually securing it from the hardware, firmware, operating system, and then to cloud. So it was also made with the hybrid work on a touch. So the security of the hardware, as you have been asking about how do I need to worry about the security of my hardware, we know we secure it, firmware of it, we have secured it, and we are sure of our security. You can come back and ask us if there's some security issues that we have with our devices. But this was just to actually show how it works. So this more of our testimony from one of the customers that are actually government of is Nunavut, that actually are using cloud PCs, and they have the scenarios that they were using Windows 365 for. This is one of the testimonies that we have. And then we'll share the slides, I think after, right? They can be able to get, yeah, they'll be able to get the slides if you'll need the slides later on. And the second one also, we have our bring your own device partner and enabling developer scenarios that we actually have one of the testimonies from one of our customers. Do we have any question? I'm sure we do have partners here, right? It's more of partners, yes. And we do have some programs that brings on partners up to speed. I'm sure they'll talk to you or your team that we can actually work with to actually get them up to speed to be able to sell Windows 365 or deploy Windows 365 or configure Windows 365 to the users. So we do have programs that are actually fast tracking the partners to actually be the ones at the front end of actually getting Windows 365 to our customers' environment. Okay, my environment was not working perfectly, so I had this as a backup, but hopefully, okay, this didn't stop. Okay. Where is this? Give me a second. I want to stop there. slideshow. Okay, this is my lab environment. As I said, this is a one-show place. When you want to manage it, you manage it using your endpoint manager. I'm not going to go too much into do we have technical people here? Or I'm becoming too technical? Okay. I don't want to be too technical. But how you manage it, I'm not going to go into too much details with it. You go to your endpoint manager. I'm sure on most of your endpoint manager, whether you have license or you don't have, this button is there. When you click it, it will just tell you that I don't have licenses yet. So that's how you manage it. You go to your Windows 365. What you need to do, it's only here. So the bring your own device, you actually have to create your virtual network first. Mine are failing for some known reason. I need to up my subscription. But these are bring your own network, kind of. But they'll actually tell you what is failing every time when you click on them. Hopefully it will show me something that is better. It didn't sync. My Azure AD Connect didn't sync because my Azure environment is down currently. My tenant is not yet ready. So it will show you if you are deploying it, what is an error that we are having. There are a lot of errors that are more than this, but now I can't actually reproduce them. But this is the environment you actually get there. You actually get to create your network connection on here. After you have created your VNet on your Azure, you need to have a contributor right to that VNet subscription. We can go through that as you come to actually join the partners that want to actually be at the forefront for Windows 365. And as I said, images, you can be able to bring your custom image. When they ask you customers if they can be able to bring their custom image on. But preferably, we prefer them to use our own images because they're up to date and secure. You don't need to actually pull down an image, update it and patch it and everything. They are patched there. The other thing that we do also is a provisioning policy. This provisioning policy now will actually now match whether you are doing one is Azure AD joint and then one is a hybrid joint. So this provisioning policy actually get to a point where they show you. I'm just gonna open this. They show you whether you are choosing Azure AD joint or hybrid Azure AD joint. When you select hybrid Azure AD joint, you can see that the menu changes. It wants you to select your VNet, your network. Mine can't show right now because my Azure is the one that is down. But when you go to your Azure AD one, you can be able to choose whether you go your Azure network, which is bring your own network, or you go with the Microsoft hosted network. So these are the policies that are there. Let me just do this. I'm just gonna do test for now so that I can region. Or also region-wise, we don't have it yet in South Africa. We are working on a roadmap to bring it. We were hoping by our summer, which is now or until December, we'll already have the services in here, but they are not yet in here. So regions that are here, you can see that we don't have South Africa North or South Africa South on our thingy. Regions that can host Windows 365. So these are the only regions that currently Windows 365 is running on. But most of our customers, they use UK data center because they have other services that are already running on UK. Why they're running that, I don't know, but I find them having that, so they prefer choosing UK. So once that is set, you choose your image. As I said, we have gallery image, which is what we recommend. I want to show you the gallery image part, just running through them a little bit faster. So we do have our Windows 11 with the OS optimized, or Windows 11. I wonder why that thing always keeps turning off. Okay. Windows 11 with your Microsoft apps in. So when you select this, a machine will be up and running with all the apps that you have. Your Microsoft apps, not line of sight applications. Then once you do that, you can select the configurations. This is still under preview where you can be able to select languages. If the persons that are deploying this, they are in Chinese, you can then give them a Chinese. This way you actually select what you want for the customer. And additional service, if you have them, but some of the environment, they're not there. If you have your auto patch configured, I'm not sure if we are aware of the auto patch that is actually currently running. You can actually select it. If you don't have, you leave it. And then the next thing is to assign to a group of users and create. if those users have licenses, once that is done, sorry. If the licenses are given to the users, once that is done, you'll have your computers starting here. You'll see them coming. If you have provision to 10 users, you'll see 10 machines starting to provision, and on the status, it will be provisioning. So depending on the scenario that we have, within 20 minutes, even 15 minutes, from 15 minutes to an hour, depending on what network level are you working with, you will have your machines ready to use, and the customer can work going from there. So this is just an overview of how you manage it. Giving license is the same way as we actually give our M365 licenses.
I think if you just keep moving your mouse, it won't do that. So you just keep moving your mouse.
No, it does that even though the mouse is not. Okay, I'm not sure if there is something that you missed. Because I did this. Okay, yeah. So once that is done, your users, they can log in with their email address or the UPN that you give them in the environment and their password and the login. You see, it keeps, I'm not doing anything. Just I'm not even doing it. So I need to be like this every time. Okay. So that's how Windows 365 is procured, or how Windows 365 is set up and given to the users. So do we have the questions at the end? I think I'm nearly at the end. So now it's question and answer time. Or did I speak German? Yes. Support in which manner? Yes, we do. They log a call on support. Oh, Microsoft, yes, not you as me, right? Okay, you as Microsoft, yes. No, customers for support, they log a call there. But if it's customers that are doing POC, I do assist them, me as a Microsoft employee.
What's the pricing for like entry level 2 CPU, you know? So they're like hundreds or?
No, it's not yet on hand. It's only US dollars though, you know.
$40 a month?
It's only US dollars, yeah. No, per month?
And it's a monthly subscription. It's equivalent to an E3, E5 licenses. Yeah, I stand to be corrected, but I can check for you and let you know before then.
Yeah. So it's on a month-to-month basis. Huh?
Sounds expensive.
No, it's not. It's not expensive.
Windows 10 Pro is about 2-3 grand, so it can't be.
No, Windows 365 is your machine. It's not the Windows as Windows. It's more like you're purchasing this in cloud. So it's more like we're selling you a machine without hardware to work around with. So you still need your licenses.
So we had a look here. So it's
$551 a month
551 rand for the 2 CPU, 4 gig, 128
per user.
per
Yes.
user.
Per month.
Per month. And if you go for the 4 CPU 16 gig, it's 1,200 rand. Sure.
Maybe it'll be cheaper once it gets to SA.
But this is Microsoft SA pricing.
No, they tended to rent there. But it's not. Once you start seeing the business value of it, it's not expensive.
I think it's also to note that when you're doing it through a reseller program, it does come a bit cheaper than buying it directly from Microsoft.
Well, we need to resell it directly at that price. Yeah. I'm talking about for my client.
How many customers are using it in South Africa?
So far, we have, that I can count in mind. Let me count them. The ones that I've been working with directly, because we have a lot of them actually, because when I checked on the system, there were more than 20 customers, but some of them, I'm working with the enterprise customers. So we do have the SMB customers that are actually using it, a lot of them actually. So that's what I was saying, I wanted to check my enterprise customers, but we have quite a lot of them that are using it.
Is there still a trial? There's still a trial available, obviously.
There is still a trial, yes. You can trial it out with your customers. I can also arrange POCs that we can do with them. But as I said, it's not expensive. If you go and look at the users that, or customers that are using Citrix on premise, how much are they paying for this, for that VDI environment, and compare it with that? It's not expensive at all.
Is there a parameter to a number of devices a user can have? So let's say I have a user that's got 2 laptops, 2 cell phones, and 2 tablets. Like with the business standard, I know you can have up to 5 devices per user. With the Windows 365, is it the same parameter, or is it?
No, Windows 365, because we offer you a license as a user, you can use that Windows 365 license to log in into all of those devices.
Not at the same time.
Not when you log in, it actually logs you out there when you log to another. So it's not like a machine that you can log into 5 devices and 5 users use. So it's more like a personalized experience. Yes. So it's yours. You can assign log in any way you want. So the same way that you use, I think your VDI solution currently, if you are using it, it works the same way that you use it. It's just that now we are moving it from on-premise, it's on cloud. Yes?
There won't be any printing issues.
No, we do have universal print that we have there. You can print. So printing issues, no, done. We started with the universal printing before we brought cloud PC. So you can print from cloud. You can even stop your users from printing, actually. You can actually restrict them from moving data from cloud PC to the base PC and printing, or you can allow them to do that depending on the security level that you want. Yes?
Be the biggest difference in terms of this 365 versus Azure hosted RDP environment?
As different between AVD and Windows 365?
No, with the Windows 365, what would be more the reason to go for it as opposed to having your users work on an RDP session in an Azure hosted environment?
There is not much different on accessing it, but the different is use cases that you want to. If you are having more of needing a multi-session or pooled environment, more of your, what do you call this, call centers. Because call centers, most of them, they want, it's 1 into 10, like it's a machine that is pooled, 10 people go into it, having same kind of settings. They go through AVD because Windows 365 is not yet giving that pooled instances, is personalized. But on accessing it, we use nearly the same thing that we actually access with. Let me show you my Windows 365 at work. We use remote desktop, or you can use cloud. So this one has 2 different ones. So you can see I have my AVD environment here. I hope this goes on sooner. Okay, cool. So this is my cloud PC, which mimic my own environment. And then these are our remote desktops that are there. I don't use them, but we assign to them. So you actually use the same remote desktop applications to access both environments. So when you access it as an end user, hopefully it will go in quicker. It have the same kind of feel as you have as you are remoting into a visualized environment. Oh, and Windows Hello also works on that. Just that mine has been refusing to see me in my classes for some time. So Windows Hello does work on it. Your multi-factor authentication works on it. So a lot of things works. So this is what your end users will have. Hopefully I didn't open anything I don't want you to see. So, yes. Yeah, so.
So it runs on Android,
Mac,
Windows,
Windows, yeah. On your tablet, on your.
sometimes.
Yes, it does. In actual fact, it can run on anything that can boot to cloud. You don't need any memory on whatever you boot with. There is one of the partners that was still developing more of a Windows kind of USB that you can plug to anything that is power. Okay. I have 1 minute left. Anything that has power, that is just a shell, kind of, so that it can boot to the cloud. So it doesn't require anything more. Okay, let me hide this. Okay, this is my work thing, it mimicking my own environment. So this is what you see when you get to Windows 365. So anything that I left open remains open, by the way.
Your file sharing speed between the Windows 365 platform. So basically, if I've got 10 users set up, is it all spun up in the same VM where we basically have a 10 gig interface between the machines to obviously increase file sharing? Or is it limited to connectivity speeds, or how does that work?
I think connectivity speeds, because it's not like when you provision 10.
But I'm talking a file sharing between a Windows 365 machine and a Windows 365 and a Windows 365 machine. The file sharing speed between those.
Is as normal as sharing from PC to PC.
But
Yeah, it'll be LAN speed, I would imagine, and
Yeah.
all in the same data center.
Unless if you are actually,
Data center here and
yes. Because if sometimes you can have a PC that is provisioned at UK and then some Asia.
But now if I basically have a Windows 365 here and I've got my Azure sitting in South Africa, that's obviously going to be a problem, won't it, or not really?
No, it's not. But if you create your VNets, you need to create them not in South Africa.
Okay.
Because
you're going to get a much better performance in your cloud.
but so far, mine is not actually in South Africa, but it works perfectly.
Well, it's not so much your GUI experience, it's more the experience between the machines communicating.
Like downloading email, resyncing when your OST dies, you've got to delete it and start again. How fast is that?
Well, that will be instant, so it's more to do, so if you have this over here, let's say, simple example, you load pastel between multiple machines and you're opening up a ODBC database, will that still work at a normal speed, or is it internet speed dependent, or?
I haven't tested that.
Okay.
We can test that. I don't want to give you a straight answer and you find that on test it is not. And like she told me. Yes. No, we can actually test it out because okay. I think my time is up. So
Thank you everybody for attending this session. We appreciate it. Hoping to see you in more sessions. What's up next is an introduction to Microsoft CSP, which is the Cloud Partner Program. We do have another session, the same session, which is a repeat session later on at 3:30, so you can come back and attend the session again if you like.